Welcome to the Heat Source Quickfire, the mini episode where we taste and discuss one sauce in under 15 minutes. Hopefully. We bring our best facts to the table and let you decide whose is best. Let's heat up. All right, welcome back for a doubleheader quickfire episode with our sauce makers from last week, Hook and Arrow. These two are part of their original lineup, and I think we both said at different points this morning already that we're pretty excited to try these. I already started talking food before we started recording.
Yep.
Which, Sam and Henry from Hook and Arrow, based out of Branford, Connecticut, they messaged me after listening. They're like, man, I'm hungry. Because whenever we record in the morning, it's just, what are we going to eat these on?
Yeah.
It makes me upset, unreasonably upset, where after these episodes, I'm like, I don't know why I can't get fried chicken. It's 8:30. Like,
I've been up for hours.
I know.
Where's my fried chicken?
I've been up for hours. So we're going to try the Cayenne Garlic hot sauce, and then we're also going to do the Habanero Orange Ginger, which the Cayenne Garlic actually won for a new hot sauce and second, I believe, in the Louisiana for the New York City Mimi Awards, if I remember correctly.
Pretty impressive for a very young company.
Yeah, I mean, the Newbie Award, that's kind of their lane.
Oh,
but
I missed that. It's
Louisiana Style one. The Louisiana Style one, they did finish second, which was a general competition.
Yeah.
Before we get into that, I have two fun things to bring up. One is, we already discussed, and we're almost going to bring it up last week. It's Hook and Arrow.
Mm-hmm.
Hook is part of the title. Yep. There was a fishing scandal in Lake Erie, 3 weeks ago now?
2 weeks, somewhere in there. 2-3 weeks.
Every time I talk to someone that hasn't heard of it, I pull up the video and I show them.
It's insane.
Yeah.
I have a tournament fishing history, and that, it's one of those things, like, there's definitely always a jealousy of, if someone's always winning, you always hear whispers of like, oh, they cheated. It's like, what'd they do? I don't know. They cheated.
Look at Tom Brady. Like, Tom Brady, like, oh, something's wrong. And then there was the ball.
Footballs are
Deflategate. It's like, oh.
Yeah. But no, there's always whispers of jealousy, for sure.
Yeah. And
that was kind of going on with this situation, which I don't know if you know this, but they've been dominating the last few years.
I know that they've been dominating at least the last year. I listened to, this is how big the story got, is they interviewed someone on the Dan Patrick Show, which is primarily the major sports.
Yeah.
But because it's just an interesting...
I mean, it was TMZ. Like, it was international news. But.
Yeah, so they interviewed them, and they talked about how, like, just either the last tournament or one of the recent ones, they won a boat, which is, it's $100,000 plus boat or whatever it might be.
They've won a couple boats in their history. I've heard their total career earnings was approaching, like, $3 million.
Yeah.
Which, looking back, it's like you still have to catch fish.
Yeah.
So they're doing something right, but they're filling their fish full of lead.
It reminds me to go to another sport. Barry Bonds, everyone talks about, well, Barry Bonds took steroids, so his home run records and all that shouldn't count.
You still got to hit a home run.
But before he exploded with that, he was an amazing baseball player.
Yeah.
That was the big thing, is they were like, well, somebody takes steroids that's in the minor leagues to get into the major leagues, but they're a low-level player. This is what happens when a all-star takes steroids to go to a otherworldly level.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they still, they accomplish things. I'm sure it's something where working their way up. I doubt that it was a cheating thing all the way through, but I just know that there was a few people that were like, something's off in previous tournaments.
Yeah. I mean, it was well known of, it was very outspoken, like, and you get used to it after a while. So, like, you see people weigh in time after time after time, and when people hold their fish up, you're within a couple pounds. You can say they've got a 15-pound bag. When these guys weighed in 14 pounds over, which for 5 walleye is a massive amount of difference.
It's not just like one fish was a little bit bigger, so that one was like 2 pounds over.
When you see it every day, it is like blatant slap in the face, so... That was just mind-blowing to me, having been in that environment quite a bit.
So that was insane. The other, I don't know if you heard about this because I intentionally did not bring it up. Have you heard about the scandal with Texas Pete lately?
I don't think so.
Texas Pete's Hot Sauce has a lawsuit against them.
For what?
It's the dumbest lawsuit.
Like someone burned their tongue.
No, Angela's dumber. Angela's brother sent me the article and was like, have you seen this? And I'm like, I read it. I'm like, they're owed $3 at best. Somebody bought the hot sauce and is suing Texas Pete because they thought the hot sauce was from Texas, but it's made in North Carolina. But they said because of the name, the branding of the cowboy with the Lone Star and all that, they thought it was Texas. And so they are suing. I don't understand, other than $3 that they spent for the bottle, how they could be suing.
It's one of those things where it's like, it's so dumb. That person could probably be potentially making millions now.
It makes me realize that I have been underselling the things I could sue for.
Yes.
When I'm like, oh, this is, I got Detroit style. Oh, this isn't really Detroit style. They made it wrong. Oh, okay.
Yeah, like, no, I don't. So do you remember the Red Bull thing of, Red Bull gives you wings? Yeah. They got sued because it doesn't give you wings, which is so that dumb. Same caliber of lawsuit. So they put 3 I's in there. So it's not officially a word. I see. If I was Texas Pete, and because one article was like, and I've read a few of them because I was just so fascinated with the dumbness of it. One article was like, they've used the Texas name and the notoriety for hot food, which I'm like, Louisiana's more hot food, like Louisiana style hot sauce right there. Mm-hmm. But the other thing was like they use Texas for that to like boost their marketing and get, sell more and all that. And I'm like, well, they're not Frank's. They're not, I know Texas Pete is a popular chain, but it's like, it's also a $3 bottle of hot sauce. Right.
So I found that fascinating and dumb. Funny. I was like trying to think of like a reason where like if you bought a bunch of Texas Pete sauce for an event that was Texas themed and like it negatively affected the event. I'm like still that's a big leap.
Yeah.
But I think Texas Pete should, within the legal boundaries of what they can, use this to market.
Yeah.
Where it's like the next commercial, which I've never seen a Texas Pete's hot sauce commercial.
No.
But if they did a commercial, have it be a cowboy that's like, the mustache is falling off.
Yeah.
The backdrop of San Antonio like drops, and it's just like
they definitely need to
Tennessee.
Play off from this.
Yeah,
like use it to their advantage. Where all this did was spike their sales.
It's like real hot sauce.
Yeah,
from an unreal Texan.
That's funny.
Like change the slogan.
But yeah, I was almost guilty of it. I was saying like with the Red Bull thing, like the wording got them sued. There's a kombucha brand. I can't remember what it was, but it was similar wording, something like this kombucha, gives you rocket boosters
fuel.
Or something like that, where it's just like, okay, that's the same caliber of suable claim.
Yeah.
Like, and I didn't have it in me to be that petty where it's like, you know what? I could be looking at $1 million. I don't know.
I mean,
I don't have it in me to be like, you know what? It's a word.
When I hooked up that Nas energy drink to my car and it didn't go faster, I was pissed.
Hold on. Before we open this, do we want to talk about the greatest, most not great festival we've ever been to?
So I had a note for Cheese Fest and I took it off because I'm like, I
think it's noteworthy. The idea is there.
Okay. And I did post Sunday about how we're going to a cheese fest and it's, this is going to be great.
Grilled cheese fest.
Grilled cheese fest. Yes. Thank you. A grilled cheese fest. And I even like videotape some of like this video of like me grabbing different sauces and stuff them in a bag. And
I had a drawstring bag that was topped off with hot sauces.
And we both get there, separately we get there and it's jam packed. I mean, it was, I don't even know how many people you think were in there at one time, but
I got there 30 minutes after it opened and I thought it was going to be like a big park, but it was a pretty small park.
Well, I guess
it was sectioned off.
I guess the grass part of it was pretty small. There was the baseball field, there was the playground, so it was kind of boxed in, but it was pretty small. Mm-hmm. I was expecting a little bit more spaced out, or honestly, I mean, I don't know if they can use the Fulton Street Market, but that probably wouldn't work because the lines were
insane. So like, great for this event. Drew not a million. It drew a ton of people. But what happened was they were kind of playing off from last year's metrics, which people were still kind of on edge from COVID.
Sure.
So all of these vendors, and what it is, it's this local cheese shop put on a grilled cheese festival.
Yep, the cheese lady, which I'll be getting cheese from there.
Oh, Courtney and I go there all the time.
Yeah, I've never been there.
I went there, go there, and ask for their stinkiest cheese.
Yeah.
And that stuff sticks in your throat for like 2 days.
That's for like third stinkiest.
Anyways. But like, they're ripping out grilled cheeses and the line wrapped, I don't know if you saw it wrapped around the perimeter of the event space.
Yeah, the
so
line
there had to
for
been 400 people standing.
The line for her grilled cheese station, which was grilled cheese, tomato soup, pretty simple. It was a tent that was kind of in the middle of the square, or on one side of the square event. It went cut through the middle of the whole event, then curved around, went behind her booth, and like, yeah, it was basically making like a
took the
6.
perimeter, yeah.
Yeah, and so I went there. I was there with 2 of my kids, and my sister brought her kids, and we're all want to have cheese, grilled cheese, whatever. And there's like no line that I could have my kids sit in that would not end in like like chaos. So they had a kids booth, which was real nice. We ended up going to a diner and I got mac and cheese. I got cheese waffle fries, tried to get something, but it was underwhelming from there. I'm not going to be negative on both the festival and this place, but I then did do I bought a thing of gorgonzola and did like a blue cheese cream sauce on steak that night. And I was like, just cheese every day.
Courtney and I did that too. We went and bought a bunch of cheese and nice bread and made grilled cheeses.
Yeah. It was one of those where I get it. It was a low number last year, or it was a certain number last year. You expect kind of continual or gradual growth, but it is, less restrictions on COVID. It was a beautiful day. Oh yeah. And it's cheese.
I think there was just,
and it was advertised
4
well.
times the amount of people they thought were going to show up.
It was advertised well. I saw it on Facebook and somewhere else. I saw it on 2 different places, and then I put interest on.
Yeah. Was it your brother-in-law? Was he?
Yeah.
He was telling us about, like, it was advertised on
the radio,
all over the radio and stuff like that. So
I think it's one, and we joke because we've, pie in the sky said like, oh, it'd be cool to like host a hot sauce festival in Michigan because I don't know of one, or at least on the west side. And like in my head, I was already going like, all right, I like that it was a free event. I wouldn't want to charge for the event, but I might sell time slots for free. But it's just like you reserve a time slot and you get a ticket, and that gets you in the door. You can stay as long as you want, but then also they would have known like, hey, we said 75 people for the 4-hour event. We sold 120 tickets.
Yeah.
Like for the first hour.
Right.
So, because you said you tried one sample that was good, but then
So we stood in line, and what it was, so there was the main cheese lady there, and then it was a competition, so anyone could sign up to make grilled cheeses, and they were told, you need to have enough product to give at least 70 samples, because they were expecting about 70 samples per booth.
Well, and they said the first 60 get like a scorecard. Yeah. So they had like given the official scorecard of like picking one of the 8 or 9, stations would win to score it. But that just sounded like, oh, those people get to score, the rest just get to enjoy.
Yeah. So we got there only half an hour after it started, and we stood in one line for a long time, got one sample, and the guy was like, yep, that was my last one for the day. Got in another line, halfway through that line, they're like, oh, we're out. Got in another line halfway through that, oh, we're out. Yeah. So they were only told to prepare for 70, which they probably should have had at least, I want to say 400 to 500 samples.
I'd like to
Less
go back.
People need to show up.
I'd like to go back next year. If they now know what happened this year, I'd like to go back next year because it's a good idea. Yeah. And just to see, but also I might tell like Angela and the kids like, hey, you can come whenever. I'm going to get there 20 minutes before it opens. Yeah. And just like be putting them in a little
That'd be the way to go, is be, camped out there before it opens. Yeah. So you're first in line for everything.
So, or like I said, if they suddenly say, hey, we're going to do tickets or time levels slots, of interest or whatever, maybe we'll have to visit the cheese lady and talk to her about it. Because she like hosted it with a realty company, like co-hosted it. Yeah. But anyway, so those were the big events of the week. I feel like the quick fires are like 15 minutes per sauce. That was like its own 15 minutes. Yeah, that's its own 15-minute little segment. But there was a lot of things that happened. There was a lot of, just interesting with hook and arrow. There's a fishing thing, the Texas Pete thing I had to bring up.
Yeah, I didn't hear about that.
I'll forward you the article now. But I was just like, anytime someone like posted a link in a group text, I'm just like, oh, please don't let it be Texas Pete. So I almost bought a bottle of Texas Pete at Horrocks the other day because I was like, might as well grab one. Right. All right, so let's open up this Cayenne Garlic hook and arrow. They've got a 5 arrowhead scale, which this is listed as a 1. If you remember, I brought Original Louisiana from the first episode as my favorite sauce, which I still use from time to time.
You ever found an arrowhead? Like a real one?
Never found one. No. Nope. Ooh. Yeah, the garlic comes through a lot stronger than like your normal Louisiana. It's almost like...
It smells like it'd be a good wing sauce.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that would be good.
All right. We're going to dank the rest of the day, though. That is very garlicky.
Yeah, I mean, it's only 3 ingredients. It is aged cayenne peppers, which is cayenne peppers and salt, vinegar, and garlic.
Did they say how long they aged their cayenne peppers for?
They did not. No.
What counts as aged?
I don't know.
Like, is there a minimum threshold?
I'm not sure. I know that original Louisiana, like a traditional Louisiana, is just the cayenne pepper, salt, and vinegar. So, I mean, the garlic is adding an extra item to traditional, but they're all a bunch of Louisiana sauces where they say, like, we do a little bit extra. But yeah, this garlic is...
It's potent.
Yeah, let's give it a try. Oh, yeah. It is a low heat, but...
It's a robust flavor.
But for a 1 level heat, it is... It
I would say
lingers.
that's a warm 1. That's a 1+.
Yeah, I like that. So they have the little icons of goes good on pizza, burgers, chicken, eggs. Yeah.
I'm thinking wings. That'd be very good on wings.
Wings would be good. This would be, yeah, I would have this as one of those throw something on a pizza sauces.
It's a little meatier than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, the consistency is a little bit chunkier. I know that when we last week did the strawberry ghost and blueberry ghost, those were very runny sauces. These definitely have a little bit more texture to them. You can see kind of the chunks of garlic in there, little specks of garlic. It's like a nice kind of darker red sauce. I also noted to Mike that the barcode has like little arrows coming off of the top of it, which I'm like, can they do that? I'm like, I guess the barcode's still intact. It doesn't matter. But I've never seen that.
I've noticed that people doing, like especially on like homemade products, like shaped barcodes now.
I've seen the shaped ones. I've seen, yeah.
That is good.
So I just did
as for garlic lovers.
I just used funky garlic yesterday, which is one that's a very potent garlic flavor, but I love it. Like it's the 2 sauces that I probably love the most, or at the higher end of my current collection, that are the most kind of bizarre. Is like the funky garlic is just a heavy garlic flavor that it's like I drizzled it on a bunch of stuff. I used it to marinate chicken one time. It's so good, but it's a lot of garlic. And he even Sam from Sam's House even posted about how he gets his garlic, and it's not just the generic. He gets it in the whole bulbs. He gets it from a local source. But so that one, and then the La Muerte, that Reaper sauce. I've been like, those 2 have been going down so fast, and I'm like, those are the 2 where it's like, Reaper's not one I normally am downing. Yeah. And that much garlic is maybe not healthy for my like social interactions with people. But it's so good.
That's funny. No, that's a good sauce. I like that.
Yeah, the garlic is really good. So it does stand out from a normal Louisiana because it has that heavy garlic, but you're still getting that good vinegar, that acidity. You're getting, like I said, you did say it's a good texture to it. This would coat really well on wings. I feel like I've ordered more unsauced wings from places nowadays because I just bring my own. I told my friend Mark who hunts, I joked with him where I'm like, I'm going to make you, pretty much eats wild game. He eats venison. Like he doesn't buy meat from a store in like years. And I'm like, I'm going to find a good wild game dish with like a really good spicy hot sauce, like that pairs well with it. I said, or I'm just going to like make chicken wing, like a chicken wing board, but instead of using B-dubs that we usually always get as kids, going to use good sauce. He's like, both of those sound good. Yeah. But like this would be this is the bottle I sent to him. Yeah. Actually, that's in Idaho. Waiting.
That'd be a good one.
Waiting.
It's aging.
Yeah. It's further aged.
Aging, yeah.
It's like, yeah, there's age and there's further aged cayenne.
Does he duck hunt at all, or is he strictly...
I've never heard him talk about duck hunting. Okay. I did just burn through, I think I might have one episode that I missed in the beginning of the Deer Country series that he did on YouTube. That's just very interesting. I had to laugh because I used to do Schwann's door-to-door frozen food sales, which was a job. Well, it's the 0 to 25. Wasn't for me, maybe it's for you kind of thing for the sauce grade. But he had to do door to door when he did Washington D.C. hunting, and he had to like knock on like suburban doors. And I'm just like, you had a taste of trying to sell frozen ice cream in the winter of Michigan. Yeah, of like no one wants to talk to you. It's like
it takes guts to do that because you're going in and being from Connecticut. These guys know exactly what he went through.
Oh yeah.
As far as you're expecting that 90% of people probably royally hate you. Like, you want to hurt the little deers, like, they probably hate you for that.
I mean, his sister would always be like, good luck hunting, don't get a deer, because she loved animals.
Yeah.
It'd be like the same.
Thanks, sis. Yeah. But, no, it's really good.
So I'm going to...
For the facts today.
So you've talked a big game for the very well-researched facts that you've put together.
Yeah, so definitely researched the wrong or I assumed that because our schedule got shifted over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
I assumed that I had pulled facts for these ones, but I pulled facts for a different one.
Which will be coming up eventually. They were sitting on our table for a couple of weeks, but they kept getting rearranged and pushed.
Yeah. But
I won't say who because I don't want them to feel bad.
I had to pull an audible and pull some facts. I'm feeling very good about 5-minute facts here. So
I'm going to go first on this fact because I want to go second on the next one because the next one I have 2 facts and I want to decide between.
You're going to play off for mine.
But this first one, I'll just set the table because I feel like this fact, while fun, is not really. It's not a contender, but it'll get in the playoffs. That's pretty much what this one will do. So with Cayenne Garlic, I didn't really go too deep into like the cayenne or the garlic side of it. I went into the label more hook and arrow, and I went into archery, into the arrow side of it. The fastest moving target hit with an arrow is 77.2 kilometers per hour. That's 48 miles per hour for Americans. By James Jean, Jean. I was like, the James Dean? James Jean, on the set of Dude Perfect, August 31st of this year. So literally a month and a half ago. 48 miles per hour moving target, hit it with an arrow.
Nice. So, what do you know what the target was? Probably a wood disc or something.
I think it was. Yeah, I think it was a wood disc. I think they did mention that. But yeah, it was a Guinness record just set 45 days ago.
Okay. So I'm big into archery.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds tempting to try to break that one.
I mean, 48 miles per hour is pretty fast.
Pretty fast, yeah.
I mean,
so I wonder what the requirement is, size of targets. Like, do I get to shoot the broadside of a car?
I mean, I feel like if it's a bigger target, it probably is like, there's like a spot.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like it's probably something smaller than a dinner plate was my assumption be.
Okay. I'll have to look into that one. That one sounds like a fun one.
The only thing I didn't write down, I didn't see is the distance.
Oh,
what was the distance?
Too,
yeah, because there's just a little more calculation. The more calculation, the further out you get.
Yeah. Do you know if it was compound or trad?
I don't know that.
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
Cool fact. No, I like that one.
Cool fact. I need some more details.
That's just me being curious. So, no, I did not know that one. That's a good one. All right. So my fact.
Also, I can't give you too much crap. I did some of my stuff last night because I was like, I left it and was like, I'll get to it later.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. All right. We're going to talk about the lethality of vinegar.
So like the lethal nature of vinegar?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Given that most vinegar is less than 10% acidic acid by volume, you'd have to toss back more than half a gallon to reach a fatal threshold. So just over half a gallon is enough to kill you.
Okay.
So an LD50, do you know what LD50 is?
Mm-hmm.
It's lethal dose 50. So it's enough of something to kill half a population.
Oh, geez. Okay.
Is 232 grams. Which, I mean, talking liquids, it's not.
Okay, so you're saying it's like this dosage would be able to kill 50% of the population, as in like.
So if you gave it to 50% of a population, 50% of that population would die.
Okay.
Yep. So that was surprising to me to hear, like, as someone who eats a lot of. I don't drink vinegar, but I don't eat vinegar. You don't eat vinegar. You don't eat liquid. Do you get what I mean? For someone who consumes a lot of vinegar, that was surprising to me that it's.
Gotta be careful with my vinaigrettes.
A half a gallon. I mean, it would be.
I think that
quite the feat to drink that much vinegar, but I thought it was going to be more than that.
As much as I love vinegar, it is something where you have to mix it and you have to disperse it.
Yeah,
it's a hard sell. I mean, I may try to make a balsamic reduction myself instead of just buying the bottle of pre-made reduction, and the whole house was awful. And it was like maybe a cup.
Yeah, balsamic goes quick too. You're like, all right, it's cooking. All of a sudden, you're left with just a sludge that sticks to the pan.
It's
You're
the
like, that went
spinach
fast.
of vinegar.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, I'm going to reduce this. Where'd it go? Hey, I'm going to put a whole like bag of spinach. Oh, it's
half of what I need.
Yeah. Yeah. So no, I do like that. That is interesting. I always worry. Like, it's funny. I think you mentioned months ago about like how many apple seeds it would take to kill somebody.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, I have to be careful. I'm like, I've maybe eaten one apple seed by accident in the last like 2 years.
It was like 200 to 400 apple seeds is enough cyanide to kill you.
It was like, and also, yes, if there's a bunch of apple seeds and you're forced to eat them, like you could probably eat 200, plus. But if you just have a bushel of apples, like you have to
assume you get 10 seeds,
and you have to like get into the core of each one. It's like, okay, maybe not as big of a deal as we thought.
Right. At that point, you're probably just going to die of sugar overdose. If you try.
Yeah. I really like this sauce. I like the garlic is a strong garlic. So if you're not a garlic fan, you probably won't be giving this one a high grade. Oh, my kids woke up. But it is a high level 1 heat. It's very strong in the mouth. Like it's lingering in the mouth heat wise. And then it's no after effects.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't really react to it. Heat level again. They have a 5-point scale. We have a 5-point scale. 0 is nothing. 1 is presence of heat. 2 is like that lingering heat back of the throat. 3 is reaction. 4 is good pain. 5 is bad pain. I almost reversed them. Yeah, this one is a high 1. It's like it's not a barn burner. It's part of the reason that I recommended this one to go to my friend Mark. He likes flavor and he likes a decent little bit of heat, but like he's not going to B-dubs asking for the blazing wings, which are garbage, by the way. Not to be negative, but they are.
When was the last time you had them? They have gotten better. I remember I'd get them as a kid.
I'd be curious to try them just to see where my tolerance is, as far as it used to be where like it would have been a no-go.
Yeah.
Just from the start. So that would be an interesting one to see. I just know flavor-wise, I just don't enjoy them.
Yeah.
And like
they have gotten better.
Yeah. I don't know.
They're still kind of on the low end of
I wish it'd be great if they had their hottest sauce be not necessarily their most flavorful, but a strong, unique flavor that's like worth the pain.
Yeah.
At this point, B-dubs, and I'll try it again and see. Maybe I'll do it at lunch if I want to upset my stomach. But it'll be like, to me, this is a challenge sauce. Take it if you want to impress your friends that you can handle heat. But
yeah, it's something you order 6 for the table, and then everyone.
No one's getting like a spicy buffalo chicken salad. But like, ooh, put blazing sauce on my chicken. Like, no,
I get it on the side.
Okay. Well, you can have some So Cluckin' Hot from Juju Birds and see how that goes.
That's intimidating to hear you say. That's intimidating. It's good. Flavor's good in there, but that's hot.
Yeah. We should ask him to like walk us through making that sauce. I know that you had mentioned it before in a previous episode.
Yeah.
All right, so for my score, I love this flavor. I like the garlickiness of it. It has a good vinegar to it. I put mine as an 81.
I had 84.
84?
Yeah.
Yeah. The garlic is one where I love garlic, but it is a challenge because I know this is a great sauce that would like blend into some things where instead of adding garlic, you add this sauce. Yeah. It's one that you gotta like garlic, and like that initial heat might scare them, because it does act fast, but then
you get over it pretty quick.
And that's the thing, is
it doesn't linger.
You just have to remember. I always tell people, like, that it's all mental.
Yeah.
Like you're reacting, but like it's just your brain thinking you're on fire.
Yeah.
And like it's not.
My
real.
mother-in-law saying the word barbecue sauce, even though it was honey barbecue sauce.
Yeah.
Like she took one bite and she was like, I'm like, what is wrong? She's like, it's hot.
I think it was Free Beer and Hot Wings, the radio show locally here. Are they local here? Or are they? They're
local here. They're based out of Grand Rapids, but they're
simulcasts.
Yeah, I've heard them all over the country.
One of them, and I forget which one, because I haven't listened to it in a long time. Ever since the one guy left,
Zane,
yeah, who does like the announcing at like Griffin's games and all that.
Yeah,
but they did one of the guys, they had him like chug ketchup because it was a Guinness record. Like, you can chug ketchup, and the guy like couldn't get more than like one gulp down because it burned so much.
That's crazy.
And I'm like, is it just like the vinegar acidity? But that's where I'm like, I joke sometimes like, oh yeah, like too spicy like ketchup. And then I keep thinking like, that one guy couldn't chug it. So I'm just very curious.
It's funny you mentioned that. So last night I like a good bread and butter with Worcestershire sauce on there. I really like.
Oh, you're talking like literal. I immediately went to pickles. I'm like, no. Pickles with Worcestershire. Like, no, okay, like I'll try
literally
it.
Bread and butter.
Just a bread and butter. Okay.
And then just dabble Worcestershire on there.
Yeah.
I had the
pronounced Worcestershire.
Worcestershire sauce.
Yeah. It's a place in Massachusetts.
But it was like surprisingly, it had a spice to it last night that I never noticed before. Where I'm like, huh. I don't know, caught me off guard. It was like, it felt like I just ate a hot sauce.
Yeah.
Which I eat a lot of it. You know, I put it in a lot of things. So
sometimes things just hit different, or sometimes you get a weird batch of something. I mean, with these sauces, it's a little bit more expected. There could be variations between batches. I mean, we had that one from Lucky Dog where they're like, hey, this one's actually hotter, be careful. And then we were like excited. It's like, yes. But it's definitely a 75 plus. This is a staple. I can see why it won for, in the Louisiana category. The 75 plus we would have in our house, stocked in our fridge. 50 to 75 is recommended by as well. 25 to 50 is kind of the average, yeah, you can try it, but don't go out and seek it. I for some reason in my head, I always think of Applebee's. If someone's like, where should I eat? Like, you want to go to Applebee's? I'm like, that's fine.
That's like my guilty pleasure. Like, I'm not here to tell you Applebee's is great and you should go there. Mm-hmm. But sometimes just like a dirty rack of ribs hits right.
But yeah, and then the 0 to 25 is not for us, maybe for you. But I think we should move on to this one because I'm curious on the heat level. So I tried both these.
I just noticed that. Yeah, that's a 4.
I tried both these sauces at the Boston Hot Sauce Fest when I saw Habanero. I don't remember them as well because I was doing 50 sauces that day at minimum and just gauntlet, like next one after the other, which is really fun, but some of them blended together. I do remember I really liked this one and I was surprised in the unique flavor of it. But it's a habanero orange ginger. It's a 4 out of 5 Arrowhead, which is why I put it second. I don't know if I realized that when I did it last time, but okay. So it smells really good, and then the back end of that smell was very hot.
That's unique.
So this is the ingredients on this: apple cider vinegar, habanero peppers, orange juice, carrot, onion, garlic, ginger, salt, black pepper, just a little black pebble. One really sets the tone, and then orange zest. There is no black pebbles in this. There is black specks from the pepper. It is like a kind of a darker orange color to it. They recommend chicken, tacos, and fish.
I bet I can figure out more things for that.
Yeah.
Haven't even tried it yet.
And ginger is one that's kind of a toss-up for me because ginger is not always... Sometimes I like things with ginger, and sometimes it's like that ginger is almost overpowering.
Yeah.
Similarly, kind of a thicker pour. Still...
God, I look like such a pig. Look at my side of the table.
Yeah, mine's catching up.
Your drops are tiny.
Yeah.
Mine are like globs.
All right, let's see here.
Ready?
The heat.
Definitely hot.
The heat ramps up. Because initially I'm like, oh, I don't feel the heat. And then it's just building and growing. Mm-hmm. Hit me in the back of the throat.
That's pretty hot.
Flavor, though, it's really good. Like, you get the ginger and the orange, neither of them are really like standing out over one or the other for me. I feel like they're pretty well balanced. Mm-hmm. But yeah, the heat is...
I like that.
Yeah, the heat's hanging out. Heat's hanging out for a little bit.
For me, that'd be another good wing sauce. I think it would go very good on wings.
On the B-Dubs board, it would be higher.
Yeah.
Well, see, and this is what I'm talking about with this. Like, I don't think this is as hot as the blazing wings that they have. But if this was one of your higher level heats, it makes perfect sense because... if you're going to take a certain level of heat and sweating and reaction, you want that flavor to matter, basically.
Right.
And so with this one, it's like, hey, yeah, we're giving you the heat, but you've got that orange, that ginger, the apple cider vinegar. Those are all working well together. And like the carrot obviously is, kind of one of those natural sweeteners. Mm-hmm. The one thing I'm not tasting is that black pebble. Just not coming through. So
it's at the bottom.
Yeah, makes sense.
It's like the worm in the tequila.
Makes sense.
All right, so you want my fact first?
Yeah, you give me your fact first, because I got 2.
All right.
I feel like both of them, I think I know which one I'm going to do, but yeah, you go ahead with your fact. I'm excited to be blown away by this fact. All
right. So the last ingredient here is orange zest.
Yep.
And, I mean, you cook, if a recipe says, add zest. Not a big deal to you. Right? You're like, oh, duh, zest goes good on many things. Like,
yeah, it's like a finishing.
It's a common thing.
Yeah.
So the zester was invented in 1990. And it was actually a woodworking tool that someone was like, hey, if I scrape the skin off from citrus, it goes well in food. Wasn't a thing till 1990.
So
is that not surprising to you?
So I use so I'm trying to think of what a zester specifically is, because I use the microplane.
Yes, that's what it is. The
That's
microplane.
okay. So it's the microplane.
So the microplane was invented for woodworking.
So what did they do for Parmesan cheese before that?
I don't know.
Because that's what I use it more for, is just Parmesan cheese, like finishing.
Yeah. I couldn't tell you on that one.
I keep doing this motion like 4 times.
You can hear the pen clicking.
Yeah, it's like I'm doing the zesting of an orange motion.
That was very surprising to me. It was, the microplane was a woodworking tool. Someone grabbed it and it's like, I got to shave this orange. And that's how Zest was born. Which you would think, with how common it is now, you would think it would have been very much so before the 90s.
So my first thought of like how they invented the zester was, that thing that you rub on your heel to like get the dead skin off that has...
That's disgusting.
I was like, oh, they just...
That's what... Yeah. That's like, where Parmesan cheese came from. Like, we should
just use it for zesting. I'm like, well, we need to make something different.
Just the horse toe file. Ugh.
Anyway, I sabotaged your fact. No, that's really... I would have guessed so farther back.
I would have guessed 60s or 70s, I think.
So an interesting comparison would be when the cheese grater was invented. The heat is good on here, so it's throwing me off. But yeah, it would be interesting to see when the cheese grater was invented to see the difference, because I feel like it's using the same element, just smaller and for a more specific purpose.
Held at a different angle.
Because the box cheese grater that like my parents had all those years, the smallest one, which is kind of used to like grate Parmesan, never works well.
Yeah, it's like the holes are pushed outward.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. It just gets caught in.
I don't know what it do. I don't know what it does.
Yeah, we're both
something in the sauce, the pebbles in the sauce.
It's early. It's the pebbles. It's the 4 out of 5 heat for them. This one I would put. It's a high 2.
I'm like at a 2+3.
Yeah, because
I would say 3. That was pretty warm.
I'm not like sweating or anything, but it is a strong 2. So I put high 2, low 3 on the heat for that. So this is my fact. Let's see. I went the ginger route.
Okay.
And not at first I was like, I could really go bizarre and go like Ginger Spice, the Spice Girl, Ginger Rogers, Ginger from Gilligan's Island, the whole thing. But I went specific the ginger plant. Do you know Europe was first introduced to ginger in the 1st century when the ancient Romans traded with India, but they forgot about it because when Rome fell, ginger was no longer a part of their...
Really? They forgot about it?
They basically forgot about it because when Marco Polo brought it back again from his travels out east, it was like this novel thing, but it was like, no, it was introduced in the 1st century.
Yeah.
Rome fell. Marco Polo brought it back and it was like, hey, remember this thing? Like,
that's crazy.
And it was so valued when that happened. In the Middle Ages, a price of half a kilogram of ginger was the same as 1 sheep.
Wow.
This sauce, I would say, worth multiple sheep.
Yeah.
just let you know. I mean, I don't know how much ginger they use in here. We might have to ask how much ginger they think is in a bottle in kilograms.
That's funny. That's interesting. It's funny how things like that were just without technology were forgotten that easy.
Yeah,
like with Pompeii, like after Mount Vesuvius went off.
Mm-hmm.
There was a few people that were like, I swear there was a city right here, and everyone's like, you're out of your mind. It was forgotten for hundreds of years. It's
a benefit as there's many times where I feel like the old guy in the room talking about the negativities of the interconnectedness of internet, social media, phones, apps, the whole thing. We won't get into that.
Yeah.
But the fact that things can be happening all over the world and you're updated seconds after it happens, minutes. Yeah. Someone's doing a Facebook Live video as something's happening in India, and you're like, did you see this happen? Yeah. Like that the fishing tournament thing that we talked about this morning.
Yeah.
No one would have heard about that except for at that tournament.
Yeah, they were live streaming it too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So
there's a bunch of like
instantly.
YouTube shorts of them. I can't play any of them because all of them are profanity laced, which I'm like, I don't know what I would expect. I mean, that's kind of the way a fisherman would react to any of that. I mean, I've heard enough cursing at a fish, so at a fisherman cheating,
We need to add that to the photos without context and just post a picture of the still when he finds the way, he like fist pumps.
Yeah.
But I thought he was just going to haymaker him.
Yeah, I gotta find
We
that.
need to
That
find
would
the
be...
still of him just halfway through what looks like a haymaker.
Yeah. Also, I did find it funny. We posted yesterday about the Stegosaurus meme, and I'm like, I don't know who's gonna get it. It got a lot of
Did it?
like, this is really good, or some people saying, I'm gonna listen to it, later this week, and I'm like,
I hope that got cleared up. The irresponsibility.
Yeah.
Matt, you just got me fired up again.
sorry. Hey,
Also, hold on. Update. The meteor was successfully deflected.
Mhm.
It wasn't heading towards Earth. It was just a test meteor. But
it would have been bigger news if it was.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, so unfortunately it did not work. But also we just found out it actually is heading
Yeah, we
here.
actually deflected it towards us.
Yeah, that would have been
So-
a rough play.
But what, like I texted you last night, like what if there's a planet out there that's still got Stegosaurus on it?
Mhm.
And we just deflected it and totally, like the butterfly effect, but this is the meteor effect. We just totally launched a meteor straight into
That would have
the
been
last planet supporting Stegosaurus.
All right, so this one, this is a high 2, low 3 heat for this one. It does linger. I mean, my tongue,
It's still there.
yeah, I see a lot of potential with this one as well. The score I gave on this one was a 78.
I had 71.
Okay. I do like their Cayenne Garlic one better. I am a sucker for Louisiana Style hot sauce.
So am I.
So that does
Is that our
lean in his
first
favor.
Louisiana style?
At least one that's like called it out as Louisiana Style.
Yeah.
I think the Mammoth red Jupiter sauce with the red Savina, it's not using cayenne, but it's got a similar, very simple
Pretty close, yeah.
menu to it. I think we have a couple other ones out there that we're going to try. I have to double check because if it says Louisiana Style, it better be made in Louisiana,
Yeah.
or they will be hearing from my attorneys.
No. Hold on. Is it on here? Cayenne Garlic
It says it's like a Louisiana Style.
from Connecticut.
I did look to see where the original Louisiana hot sauce came from, and it is still made in Louisiana.
Okay.
New Iberia, Louisiana.
I was thinking for the Cayenne Garlic,
Yeah.
I want to go to Fish Lads and just get, 4 dozen raw oysters and just go to town.
I don't think I've ever had raw oysters.
Really?
Yeah, I would try that.
Okay, let's end this.
All right. Well, that is the episode. I want to thank everybody. Oh, I didn't even mention the other thing. Thank you to Stanky Sauce, who ran a fundraiser to raise money for Florida, which we contributed to, and it raised, I think, over $800, and we ended up winning one of the prizes in their raffle. So we have a lot of hot sauce coming our way
Yeah.
that I have to reinforce some shelves. But it is exciting. Had the dog's excited upstairs. But thank you to them. Thank you again to Hook and Arrow. Just a reminder, they are still doing this month 25% of proceeds for their sales this month for Breast Cancer Awareness Month will be going to First Descents, the organization that gives young people that are struggling with cancer or cancer survivors the ability to do some outdoor adventure activities, get out there and experience life. So great cause. Check our previous post or Hook and Arrow for information on that. Their website is hookandarrow.co and check out their Instagram at Hook and Arrow. But I was excited about the flavor of these. These ones, I feel like I'm going to burn through pretty quick. I just got to document it.
Yeah.
I don't know. One might be just an office sauce, so you can have some too.
Your kid just gained like 200 pounds.
Yeah, he had a lot of mac and cheese last night. Shout out to Kraft Mac and Cheese. But until next week, that is our episode. And I think next week we'll be trying a new sauce out of the Boston area.
Nice.
Teaser.
All right.
All right. Thanks, guys.
It's very open-ended. See ya.
All right. Ready?
I know you're happy. That was terrible.
Sounded good on here. All right. Don't look at my kids.
Oh, sorry.
That's why it's subliminal.